Imagine a world where some of the tastiest, most exotic foods on the planet are completely illegal. Some because they could literally kill you. Some because the way they're made is considered cruel. And some, well, America just says, nope, not today. Today, we're taking a mouth-watering, terrifying journey through 13 foods banned in the United States. From a fruit that can knock you unconscious, to a cheese crawling with live maggots, to a dish made from bird spit. These are foods you've probably never heard of, and even if you have, you won't believe the story behind them. So sit tight, grab some snacks, or don't, because after this video, your idea of what's safe to eat might be completely shattered. Ackee, the fruit that can kill you. Let's start with something that looks like a tropical dream, bright red, yellow, creamy, and completely deadly if you get it wrong. This is Ackee, Jamaica's national fruit. On the island, it's a breakfast staple. But in the US, fresh Ackee is illegal. Why? Because Ackee contains hypoglycin a toxin so powerful it can make your blood sugar plummet, causing seizures, coma, or even death. Eat it too soon, before it fully ripens, and you're playing Russian roulette with your morning meal. Only canned or properly processed Ackee is allowed into the US, meaning the fresh, beautiful fruit that locals enjoy daily is off limits. Imagine seeing this vibrant fruit in a market, knowing you couldn't touch it without risking your life. That tension between deliciousness and danger. That's what makes Ackee one of the most fascinating banned foods in the world. And here's a wild fact. In Jamaica, the fruit isn't just food, it's culture. Ackee and saltfish is considered the national breakfast. It's buttery, savory, and utterly addictive. But one wrong bite of unripe fruit, and breakfast turns into a hospital visit. Would you risk it? Casu Marzu, the maggot cheese. Next, we travel to Sardinia, Italy, where locals eat a cheese so extreme it makes most Americans recoil. Meet Casu Marzu, known as the maggot cheese. Inside this creamy pecorino, live insect larvae do what most humans would find disturbing. They literally eat the cheese from the inside out, making it soft, silky, and pungent beyond belief. Eating it means swallowing these wriggling larvae along with the cheese. And yes, they can jump up to 15 centimeters. The US government bans it outright. The FDA considers it a health hazard. Ingesting live worms can lead to intestinal infections. And yet, Sardinians call it divine. It's a centuries-old tradition, often eaten at weddings and special occasions. Can you imagine sitting down at a fancy dinner, nibbling a slice of cheese, only to discover it's alive? That's the thrill and the horror of Casu Marzu. Dangerous? Absolutely. Fascinating? Even more so. Some tourists have actually smuggled it into the US, risking fines and health inspections, just for a taste of the forbidden. Époisses de Bourgogne, Napoléon's favorite cheese. Cheese lovers, brace yourselves. This one is legendary. Époisses de Bourgogne, a French cheese so pungent Napoleon reportedly refused to travel without it. It's creamy, soft, and smells like a bold combination of strong perfume and earthy decadence. But here's the catch. It's made from raw milk aged less than 60 days. And in America, that's illegal. The FDA says it's too risky. The bacteria could be dangerous for consumers. So while French connoisseurs savor it with wine, Americans can only dream. Some even smuggle it in, wrapped in clothing, hidden in suitcases like a culinary contraband. Imagine that tension. A cheese so good it's worth breaking the law, yet so forbidden it feels like food espionage. Époisses isn't just cheese. It's a forbidden taste of history, a link to centuries of French tradition, and a cheese that Americans can only experience in their imagination. Brie de Meaux, the real French brie. If you've ever bought brie at your local grocery store, you might think you know what real brie tastes like. You don't. Brie de Meaux, the authentic French version, is made from raw milk. It's earthy, creamy, and slightly mushroomy, a flavor profile you can't replicate with pasteurized versions. But the US bans it. Raw milk under 60 days? Not happening. Americans get a safer version, but French cheese purists scoff. They say it's like drinking decaf espresso. Sure, it's coffee, but it's missing the soul. Brie de Meaux is banned not because it's dangerous for everyone, but because the law prefers predictable safety over authentic taste. Would you risk the unknown for the real deal? Haggis, Scotland's forbidden pride. Now we're heading to Scotland, land of kilts, locks, and a dish that's illegal in the US. Meet haggis, a spicy, hearty pudding made from sheep's heart, liver, and yes, lungs. That last part? It's exactly why the FDA says nope, not allowed. Lungs are banned because of potential contamination during slaughter. Apparently, your lungs shouldn't be on your plate. But for Scots, haggis isn't just food, it's tradition, identity, and pride. Here's the wild part. Some Americans have tried making mock haggis using beef or turkey, but purists insist it's not even close. Eating real haggis in the US? Illegal. But imagine the thrill if you actually found it. A dish so deeply cultural, yet forbidden across the Atlantic. The ban status has made it a cult item. People obsess over it. Recipes are shared in hushed tones, and every taste feels like a rebellion against the law. Shark fin soup, the luxury dish that cost millions of sharks their fins. If you thought food bans were only about germs, think again. Shark fin soup is a luxurious delicacy from Asia, often served at weddings or banquets to show wealth and status. But in the US, the sale of shark fins is banned in many states, and for good reason. Sharks are often fin alive. Their fins are cut off, and the rest of the shark is thrown back into the ocean to die. It's brutal, wasteful, and devastating for ocean ecosystems. With shark populations declining rapidly, US lawmakers stepped in. Today, more than a dozen states have outlawed shark fin trade entirely. But here's a twist. Chefs are reinventing the soup using plant-based ingredients like agar-agar and seaweed, creating a similar texture and taste without the cruelty. Ethical, sustainable, and guilt-free, yet still a nod to a forbidden culinary tradition. Imagine trying a dish your government has banned for moral reasons. Feels rebellious, right? Fugu, the deadly delicacy. Now, let's talk danger on a plate. Fugu, or pufferfish, is Japan's most infamous culinary thrill, and it can kill you. Fugu contains tetrodotoxin, a poison up to 1,000 times stronger than cyanide. One wrong slice of liver or skin, and you could be paralyzed or dead. Only the most skilled chefs, trained for years, are licensed to prepare it. In the US, the import and serving of fugu is strictly controlled. Only pre-processed fillets from certified Japanese facilities are allowed. Think about it. You're sitting in a restaurant, paying hundreds of dollars, and the slightest error could turn dinner into a deadly game. Fugu isn't just food, it's culinary Russian roulette. And yet, people line up for the thrill, chasing the adrenaline as much as the taste. Bird's nest soup, the world's most expensive bowl of spit. This one will make you think twice before judging your next soup. Bird's nest soup? Yes, literally made from the hardened saliva of birds called swiftlets. In parts of Asia, it's considered a health tonic, a beauty enhancer, and a luxury symbol. But the FDA isn't convinced. Bird saliva can carry viruses and bacteria, including avian flu, making the soup illegal for import without strict inspection. And yet, jars of this forbidden delicacy can sell for hundreds of dollars online. It's a food that combines extravagance, risk, and the uncanny, literally eating a bird's construction material. Can you imagine spending a fortune on something that looks completely harmless, yet is technically illegal? That's the power of a banned food, the allure of the forbidden, the thrill of exclusivity. Raw milk, the controversial classic. Not all banned foods are exotic. Some are surprisingly simple. Take raw milk. Milk that hasn't been pasteurized is technically illegal to sell across state lines in the US. The government warns of E. coli, Listeria, and Salmonella, all dangerous bacteria that pasteurization kills. But raw milk enthusiasts swear it's healthier, richer, and more flavorful. In some states, underground milk networks exist, small farms selling mason jars of raw milk to those willing to take the risk. Drinking raw milk in America is almost like breaking the law in slow motion. And yet, the flavor is intoxicating, creamy, fresh, and alive, something pasteurized milk can't replicate. It's a perfect example of a food caught between freedom, health, and obsession. Foie gras, luxury or cruelty. Foie gras, the buttery, rich liver of a duck or goose, is a French delicacy beloved worldwide. But here in the US, it's controversial and even banned in some states like California. The reason? Force feeding or gavage to enlarge the liver. Animal rights groups call it cruel, activists protest, and chefs defend it as tradition. This ban has created a culinary underground. Some restaurants sneak it in from abroad, while vegan chefs reinvent it with mushrooms and lentils. Foie gras embodies a unique tension, the ultimate luxury on one hand and an ethical dilemma on the other. It forces you to ask, is a taste worth the controversy? Tonka beans, the forbidden vanilla. Next up, tonka beans, tiny seed with a flavor that smells like vanilla, almond, and a hint of cinnamon. They're illegal in the US because they contain coumarin, which can damage the liver in large quantities. Banned since 1954, these beans still appear in desserts in Europe. Some daring chefs risk small amounts to capture that intoxicating aroma. It's a banned food that's sensual, aromatic, and illegal, creating a thrill for those who crave the forbidden. Imagine the taste sweet, nutty, earthy, and knowing you're technically breaking the law. That tension makes it irresistible. Red dye number 3, childhood's forbidden color. Finally, something from your childhood candy bag. Red dye number 3. For decades, this bright red dye colored cherries, gummies, and jelly beans. But research showed it could cause cancer in lab animals. In 2025, the FDA banned it completely from foods and drugs. It's a reminder that danger isn't always exotic. Sometimes it's hiding in something you thought was harmless. Eating sweets used to feel safe. Now, every cherry is a little reminder of what can lurk in food. Red dye number 3 is the ultimate banned food paradox. Nostalgic, colorful, and forbidden. Hákarl, the fermented shark you can't touch. Finally, we travel to Iceland, a land of fire, ice, and one of the world's most terrifying foods, Hákarl. This is fermented shark meat, and it's not just strong. It's legendary for its pungent ammonia smell. Some describe it as smelling like a gym locker mixed with rotting fish. Why is it banned in the US? The meat contains high levels of ammonia and toxins that naturally form during fermentation. Eating it raw or improperly processed can make you seriously ill. Americans rarely encounter it outside documentaries. Yet in Iceland, it's considered a delicacy, especially during the midwinter festival of Orbolt. The preparation is extreme. The shark is buried in gravel and pressed for months, then hung to dry for several more months. The result is chewy, pungent, and utterly unforgettable. For locals, it's cultural heritage. For most outsiders, it's a dare or a nightmare on a plate. Imagine standing in a restaurant, facing a small cube of Hákarl, knowing your nose and stomach might revolt. That's the thrill of the forbidden. Would you dare to take a bite? Or would your senses run for cover? Hákarl perfectly rounds out our list. A food that is exotic, shocking, culturally important, and legally off limits. So there you have it. 13 foods the US has said no way to. From fruits that could kill, to cheeses alive with worms, to soups made of bird spit. These foods are banned for health, ethics, or just plain legality. Some are dangerous, some are cruel, and some are just too extraordinary for the average American supermarket. So tell me, which of these forbidden foods would you dare to try? Would you risk your health, your conscience, or even the law for a taste of the exotic and forbidden? Comment below and let me know. And if you want more wild food stories that will shock and amaze, hit that subscribe button, because this is only the beginning of what the world's kitchens hide from us.